Good afternoon, traders. This is Tony D from easyMarkets in Sydney. We've got another update for you in what's happening here. There's key battle yesterday in the US dollar. You saw the market bounce what was threatening to be a start of a new US dollar trend. You see that the euro dollar was threatening to break down into the lower 22 levels. If it broke 122, then the 121 level would quickly come back into view. Now the jump was basically across the board. All right, so you saw not only the stock market rebound, which seems now to be correlating with US dollar strength weakness. So it's a negative correlation. So if the stocks go up, US dollar goes down. That seems to be the way it's playing at the moment. It's a weird correlation because a lot of the time what was happening is if stocks go up, then you do get dollar or yen up, say. But if you see here, there's a bit of an inverse right now. Dollar yen went down yesterday while stocks went up. So it's decoupled fairly sharply from what it used to be related to. In regards to which pairs did the best, well, Aussie did well, bounced up here. The pound did okay, bounced up as well. Pound was looking very ominous on the downside, just because there's a little bit more uncertainty going forward with some of the news, and so the Aussie and the pound did quite well. The gold did have a little bit of a bounce, not as aggressive as say the euro, but the euro really did get back above that 123 level, looking a little bit nicer here. So it is an important day now. If the market goes straight back to selling US dollar, you are going to see those more comfortable with the longer term trend come back in. And you can see here that no damage has been done yet to the big trend, so you can still see the potential for the market to go back to selling US dollar quite quickly. And also the Aussie dollar held its 200-day moving average, so there's no reason for us to suspect that it will have any trouble at all going back to its uptrend in the coming days, if that's the way the market wants to play out. So probably what you want to be looking at this today anyway is the US stock market, considering that it seems to be now dictating the fate of some of these pairs. So if you're looking at the stocks later and they are up, you're probably going to expect the Aussie and the euro and the pound to be higher as well. Alright, in regards to the ECB's minutes that came out, look, they were fairly taken as fairly mixed in terms of there wasn't any rush to talk about giving ending the QE anytime soon. And so in regards to what is being spoken about in the financial media, it's all about, well, ECB should come out and tell us that they're going to end in September because everyone knows they are going to, and it's just a badly kept secret in the current market that the ECB doesn't want to because they don't want euro stronger. Look, they're still playing coy, and you haven't got any change on that agenda yet. So we're still going to have to wait for that big announcement, really, where that comes out. And in terms of if they are going to raise rates afterwards, they're still trying to play the card that they're not going to be raising rates anytime soon until well after the end of QE. So not a 2018 story, they're still saying. But market is pricing in otherwise. Still some chances of a rate hike in December, and that is supporting. When the market fights the central bank, that's an interesting battle always. Who's going to be correct. Same thing's happening in Australia. There's a chance of the RBA raising in December if you look at the bond market in terms of it's pricing in of a chance, but the RBA is fairly adamant that they're not going to. So it's one of those markets pushing the central banks pushing back. But when the bond market suggests that they are going to be rate hikes, that's where the currency gets its strength from. So that's where you've got to keep an eye on as well. Not just so much what the central bank says, but what the market says. Same with the US stock market, US bond market. It dictates in its mind as well how many times the Fed's going to raise rates this year. And while the debate about whether the Fed is going to raise 3 or 4 is being talked about in financial media, the bond market has its own view, and you always want to keep up to date. And large changes in the US dollar, anytime the market has a huge move overnight, US dollar strength or weakness probably is coming through in that chance, the changes in those chances. Alright guys, look, everyone have a great weekend. You are seeing Bitcoin back below 10,000 in the crypto space. That is ominous, and you want to keep an eye on that. You want to see that back above 10,000 come Monday morning. Otherwise, we'll be talking about some of the bigger levels on the downside. The big support at the moment is around about 8.5. So you still got a little bit of room to the downside here. It's a very sped up market, so even though that we're talking about something which is 10% away, that can happen in a day or two. So keep an eye on 8.5 if you're looking for the big supports. If you're looking for price action, you just want to see the market back above 10,000 before you're considering safety to get back in.